This conference will now be recorded.
So now here we'll entering into the yesterday you have stopped on this creation of your respective Docker file. So yeah, so now I have been using the new Docker file which I have just tested right now, which is working as expected. So now here would like to enable the respective Docker file and we'll try to switch it to the push this respective Docker image to your respective ECR repository. So here you have a Docker file which is going to be created a simple uh, Apache web server. So where you have been downloading the respective Ubuntu image and the Debian, which is your operating system over there, and installing the respective updates here, installing the Apache 2, right, and installing the Apache 2 respective utilities, and exposing the port 80, expose the port 80, and running on the respective init container over your respective Docker. So now here you are building a Docker image. So the command here to build the Docker file here is docker build, right, -t that respective image of prod Apache, right, and followed by the dot. So it will try to build the respective Docker image. So now here these images you can list to list the Docker images, right? To list the Docker images. To list the Docker image. To list the Docker images. You need to use the command called Docker images here. So it will showcase you the what and all images are there. Right. Right. It will showcase you the what and all images are there. So now here you guys need to, right, you guys need to involve with this respective Docker images like this. So yesterday you have created your repository with this here. Yesterday you have created your repository, go for the services, go for the ECR container history. So now here we use the push commands, right? So firstly, you should log in into your respective ECR report. Firstly, you should log in into your respective ECR report. Right? Firstly, you should log in into the respective ECR report. So now here it will throw you the right this error actually AWS configure. Now what to do? What do you guys need to do? It has given this error. Huh? AWS command. What do you need to do to overcome this error? You need to configure you to the AWS configure, right? You need to provide you the access key as well as the secret, right? Access key as well as secret key for this. So now how to get your respective access key as well as secret key? Right? How to get your respective access key and secret key?
Session
Through IAM user action, right? To IAM here. So this IAM user, so will going to be, so will create it through, right? You need to configure through IAM user, go for the respective services, go for the IAM. So now go for the users and get the respective user here. So go for the secret credentials here. Create access key and secret key here. So you need to use AWS configure, right? And you need to use this respective secret access key also. And here you've been creating your respective, the respective ECR repository over your which region you guys are performing this activity on Singapore region. On Singapore region here. And the Singapore region, the code is AP Southeast -1, right? AP Southeast -1, right? And here you need to use the JSON as your respective and log in with the ECR repository, right? And log in with your respective ECR repository. So now you have been successfully logged in, actually, right? Now you have been successfully logged in. So then here, right? After logged in here, as you are already built this respective one, you need to tag this respective Docker images. Right? Tag this respective Docker image. Right. So after tagging, you need to Docker push actually. After tagging of your respective images, you need to use Docker push. So now here you've been pushing to your respective private ECR repository and you are showcasing your respective Docker image in this respective ECR repository. So that is one main important thing, right? Am I clear on this? So this is how it works. Now this is how your image is. So in the real-time environment, when you guys are into AWS, right? You guys need to enable the respective Docker images here, right? You guys need to enable the respective Docker images here. So that is how it's going to be happen, right? That is how it's going to be happen here. Am I clear on this? Any questions, any doubts? Am I clear, guys? So this is how it works here. So now here, the later point of the time, you guys need to like again. This is not included in your associate level syllabus. This is only for your to crack your respective interview. So which ECR repository, sorry, which repository you guys are going to be used to store your respective Docker images, right? Which repository you guys are going to be used to store your respective Docker images? Answer for the question is ECR repository. And what is the procedure that you guys are following? This is what the procedure, right? This is what the procedure you guys are following, right? To create your respective Docker image and to enable your respective, right, authentication from your respective EC2 instances to the ECR repository, storing that respective ECR repository over there. So all these things will going to be like ensure that, right, you guys are enabling this respective repository, right? Am I clear on this? Any questions, any doubts? So this is how it works. And secondly, right? And secondly, the next additional topic that you guys need to know to crack your respective interview is with creation of your respective EKS cluster, right? Creation of your respective EKS cluster here, right? The one which you guys are going to perform. So now here, the creation of your respective EKS cluster is pretty important in your real time. So now here, as per the AWS, so before entering into the concept of the Kubernetes, right? The EKS cluster creation, you guys need to know about the right. You guys need to know about the complete strategy for your respective, right? Complete strategy for your respective. How the Kubernetes works and what and all components are there in the Kubernetes, right? How Kubernetes work, what and all components are there in the Kubernetes. So Kubernetes has been split into two components basically. So here you guys are being using with your EKS master, and you guys are being divided with your respective worker node, right? EKS worker node, right? EKS worker node here. So these are the three main worker nodes here and EKS master, the one which you guys are looking. So now here, this EKS master is completely over the PaaS services, right? So three main important there are three main important components are there on your respect to EKS master. There are three main important components are there in your respect to EKS master. The first thing here is right. The first thing here is respective scheduler, right? Respective scheduler here, and the second thing here is respective controller here, and the third thing here is respective API server, and the fourth thing here is the respective etcd, right? Etcd. Fourth thing here is the respective etcd, right? This is the four main important components are there, right? This is the four main important components are there on your respective API server. Four main important components are there on your respective API servers here. So this master, EKS master, will going to be managed by the respective EKS actually. As an administrator, you no need to worry about these four components, right? So you're not going in depth to the Kubernetes. So you're not required at this moment, as you are focusing only on the AWS perspective. What the component will do, what is going to be helpful for you. So you're not giving the training to the Kubernetes here. You're not looking into the Kubernetes perspective. You're only looking into the AWS admin perspective here. What is your role here, right? That is a very vast syllabus of the Kubernetes, right? You're not going into in depth of the respective components. So now here, the master components, the EKS master components here, will going to consisting of four main components here. Generally, if you're not adopting the AWS EKS PaaS services, if you are building your own Kubernetes cluster over the EC2 instances, right? You guys are using the scheduler, controller, and API server and etcd actually. All these four components, right, is going to be right. All these four components going to be managed by you. if you're not adapting the PaaS EKS services, right? If you're not adapting the PaaS EKS services, all these four components you guys need to manage. And this is very hectic job to manage actually. It's not that easy. It is very hectic job to manage here. So now here you guys going to be using the respective worker nodes, right? Using the respective worker nodes here. There are two main important components in the worker nodes here, which is called kubelet and kubeproxy. Again, this is going to be no need to manage here, kubelet and kubeproxy. Kubelet and kubeproxy here. This is one work. This is your respective worker node components. Again, when you guys are into, right? Again, so again, these things will going to be, right, managed through, right? Again, this thing going to be managed through your respective, right, worker node here. So as an AWS admin, you guys need to create the EKS cluster and hand over this respective EKS cluster to your, right, to your Kubernetes administrator. Now, what is the way to create your respective EKS master along with your respective worker nodes? This is pretty simple actually. This EKS master, right? This is pretty simple, right? This EKS master and EKS worker node, right? EKS worker node will going to be created with the help of EKS CTL, right? With the help of EKS CTL actually. Create the EKS cluster. Create the EKS cluster, we need to install the EKS CTL utilities, right? EKS CTL utilities. You guys need to install the EKS CTL utilities actually, and you need to create a cluster YAML file here. Cluster YAML file here, right? You need to create a cluster YAML file here. So that is one main important, right? Cluster YAML file. That is one main important thing. So let's install the EKS utilities here. So now here EKS utilities here. Again, you need to install two binaries here. Right? Again, you guys need to install the two binaries for this. Right? To install your respective EKS CTL. To create your respective cluster YAML file. Right? So now here you need to use the command called EKSCTL version to check the version for your respective, right? EKSCTL install, right? EKSCTL install. So the binary got installed successfully. So actually, you guys need to create the, right? You guys need to create the before EKSCTL, you also need to install one more binary called kubectl. Right, one more binary called kubectl here. So two binaries you guys need to install. One is with the EKSCTL, right? The second one is Jiva, don't interrupt the class in the middle. We're focusing on the AWS. Even I am the certified guy for the Kubernetes. Let's don't focus on the Kubernetes right now. Let's listen in the perspective of AWS. Don't try to answer the Kubernetes question. I'm here to answer the questions. Don't try to interrupt the class in the middle. Kindly refine that. Let's focus on AWS first. This is not the training which is related to the Kubernetes. Or else I'm going to restrain this complete EKS cluster class itself. Right? Don't try to act over smart here. So now here you need to install this respective the binary for your respective kubectl here. You need to install the respective binary for the kubectl here and provide the respective kubectl here, right? And provide the respective kubectl permissions here, right? Provide the respective kubectl permissions here. Right, provide the respective kubectl permissions, execution permission for the kubectl, and copy the kubectl user bin to the local bin directory along with your respective binary. Right, these are the steps you guys need to follow here. So what you guys need to do? First, you need to install. First, you guys need to install here the respective EKSCTL binary and copy the respective binary to the both your bin directory along with your local bin directory. Bin directly along with your respective local bin directory here. So these are the things you guys need to follow here. Copy the EKCTL to the bin directory and your local bin directory here. Right. So this is one main important thing. So as soon as you have did this one, you need to create a respective cluster YAML file here. Right, you guys need to create a respective cluster YAML file here to create your respective cluster. So this is going to be right. This is going to be right. This is going to be you guys need to perform with the non-root user. You guys need to perform with the non-root user, right? Non-root user. The cluster installation is completely is going to perform to the non-root user. You should not perform with the root user in the EKS, right? In the EKS here. Here EKSCTL will comes with the completely with the cluster YAML file here, and it will take 20 minutes to create the cluster, right? Right, it will take 20 minutes to create the cluster here, right? And here this is your respective cluster YAML file here, right? And now here this is your cluster YAML file, so which creates a node group, right, followed by with your respective worker nodes. The node groups will going to be consisting of your worker node components here, worker node components here. Complete all your worker nodes here, right? Complete all your respective worker node here. And here you need to change the respective region, right? Here you need to change the respective region here. Here you guys need to change the respective region here. So again, you guys need to configure the AWS configure. Again, you guys need to configure the AWS configure here. So here you will have the credentials here. So you can use this respective credential, the same credentials to configure. Similarly, AP Southeast -1, as you are creating this respective one over the, right, as you are creating the respective one over the, right, Singapore region, right? So now here, this is a simple execution of the command here, EKSCTL create -f and cluster data. EKSCTL create cluster -f, the cluster data. As soon as it started creating on the back end, it will going to be ensure that all your EKS cluster along with your respective worker nodes will be created with automatically. So this will takes the picture of, right? This will take the picture of at least 20 to 25 minutes actually. Like 20 to 25 minutes actually. So you need to wait for this 20 to 25 minutes here. As soon as it got triggered the cluster here, so you can able to notice that a EKS cluster is automatically, right? The EKS cluster will automatically enable the respective creation status. So this will automatically create your respective cluster, and this will going to be create your respective, right? This will going to be create your respective the worker nodes. So the worker nodes you call here as your respective node groups. You call here as your respective node groups. So that is one main important thing that you guys need to notice here.
Shanmugh, is there any default number of worker nodes? Say, for example, 2 nodes will be created like that?
Yeah, it will automatically, by default, it will create 2 nodes, but you can also tweak the desired capacity here. So if you observe that in my cluster.yaml file, right, you can also Take the respective capacity. Yeah, you can do whatever the VPC details you want and whatever the respective safety groups you want to attach, right? All these things you can able to do on your cluster.yaml file. So here I have given my desired capacity as 1. Instead of that, you can give as 2. So you will have a full-fledged EKS file with you if you search with the complete VPC details and complete the security group details, worker node volume details, and what kind of IAM role you need to attach. Everything you can use in the respective EKS. But in real-time environment, when your infrastructure has been completely provisioned with the Terraform, right? When your infrastructure completely provisioned with the Terraform, right? Those EKS cluster also they will build with the help of Terraform, right? EKS cluster also they will build with the respective Terraform. So that depends actually. Am I clear on this? So this is and now as soon as you guys have created this respective cluster, right? As soon as you guys have created this respective cluster, a kube config file, right? Right, a kube config file is going to be automatically going to be created on your right. Is automatically going to created on your respective right. Automatically going to create on your respective the path under the dot cube that it will take some time to create. So any questions on creation of your respective EKS cluster? As soon as you guys have created this respective EKS cluster, this respective kube config file is your respective authentication for your cluster here. Authentication for your respective cluster here. So this is how it's going to be happen. Right? This is how it's going to be happen here. Am I clear? Any questions, any doubts here? So now this is all about your ECR and EKS clusters creation here. Visually in the sense on the management console, through management console. Through management console you have been asking. I'm not getting your question. Yes, you cannot create through management console actually. That is not happening. So by default, when you are launching the EKS cluster, it will launch your cloud formation template. And there are so many challenges if you take the cloud formation template. So now we'll discuss about what is the cloud formation template and how does it going to be happen. Right. Now we'll discuss about that. So this is one main important topic that you guys need to know in your real-time environment how it's going to be happen, right? How this is going to be happen here, you guys need to know. No, you can change whatever the instance type. You can use T2, you can use R5 based upon your requirements. You need to change this value here. You can use this one. So that is one main important thing here. Right. So that is one main important thing that you guys need to understand here. And the later, right? And the later here, you guys need to know what is the main reason for the creation of the cloud formation template and what is the main difference between the configuration management tool, IAC, and the cloud formation templates. So now here, anyone worked on this configuration management tool, what does it do? Right?
Oh, you mean
Anyone worked on this configuration management tool?
you mean that chip for Nansen, right?
Hmm?
For Nancy, you're asking.
Yes, Ansible or
Yeah.
Chef or
Yeah.
Puppet.
So that's the configuration tool, like it will be applicable for all the clients. So what and all changes if you are doing on the main configuration tool, it will be applicable to all the clients servers. So no, instead of doing one by one, we can push from the configuration tool with the changes.
Okay. So anyone have completely worked on the Terraform actually? Okay. So now we'll understand. This is an interview question. They will ask you the what is the difference between these things. Like what does it do and what does this respective stuff? The main difference between this configuration management tool and the IAC they will do. So now here IAC is an infrastructure as a code. Right? IAC is an infrastructure as a code here. Right? IAC is an infrastructure as a code here. Infrastructure as a code. This is to completely used to create your respective infra. Listen carefully. And this is going to be supported by the HCL, ASCII crop language. Right? So basically, this is a key and value pair. Basically, this is a key and value pair. Basically, this is a key and value pair. Basically, it's a key and value pair. This is one main important thing here. This is only going to be used to create your respective resources on multi-cloud, either on Azure or either on your respective AWS actually. Right? Either on Azure or either on respective AWS actually. So this is one main important thing here. Either on Azure or either on respective AWS here. You guys are going to be used to manage your infrastructure as a code here. To manage your respective infrastructure as a code here. And this is going to be supported with the help of ASCII corp language. Right? ASCII corp language. Basically, the tools which you guys are going to be used in your real-time environment here with the help of this SCL, ASCII corp language. Right? You guys need to ensure that. Right? You guys need to ensure that with the respective the tool set called either with Terraform or with respect to TerraGreen or with respect to Terra Cloud actually. Or with your respect to Terra Cloud actually. Right? Either with Terraform or respect to TerraGreen or with the respect to Terra Cloud. And now this is completely with the key and value pair here. This is completely with the key and value pair here. Right? So now here, this is going to be used only for the infrastructure provisioning. The way you guys are provisioning is the manual way of creation. The one which you have created like RDS and the one which you guys have created with your elastic load balancers. or the other scenarios like EC2 instances creations. All these things are the manually you guys have created. You have not automated these things, right? You have not automated these things actually. You guys have created complete manually here, right? Complete manually here. You guys have created here. So now here to make your respective infrastructure as a code, right? To make your respective infrastructure as a code, or to make your respective the provision of your respective infra. So you guys need to understand here is how the other things like Ansible is going to be helpful. The configuration management tool, CFT. While you guys are provisioning the infra, the resource creations with the help of Terraform or TerraGreen, right? This configuration management tool, right? These configuration management tool will going to be helpful for you. Right? This configuration management tool will going to be helpful for you to create your respective resources, right? To create your respective installation part. For example, I want to install an Apache Tomcat in 100 servers, right? Apache Tomcat for that respective 100 servers here. So how you guys are going to be installing here? Apache Tomcat 2 with 100 servers here. How you guys are going to be installed on one go? With the help of configuration management. And what and all tools are available in the market in the CMT? The main tool, the mostly using the tool here, you guys are using the Ansible here, right? Ansible here and Chef, and you guys are going to use Puppet and the Salt Stack, right? Salt Stack. So these are the mostly used tools here in the market. But major position has been occupied with the Ansible because the Ansible is a Red Hat product and it is an agentless actually. No need to use your respective agent. It's an agentless actually. No need to use your respective agent. So this is how it's going to happen. Right? This is how it's going to happen here. So now here, you guys need to enable the right. Now here, you guys need to ensure that the main difference between the IAC and the configuration management. IAC will going to be helpful for you creation of resources over the AWS environment, where here CMT is going to be helpful for you to manage your respective configurations in terms of packages, software installation, and all these things, right? You guys are going to be managed through this respective configuration here. So now here you guys need to understand about the how the main source here, how this respective main source here we going to be enabled here. There is a one more tool called Cloud Formation Template, which is an AWS proprietary. Again, it will support with the language of JSON or YAML. Again, it will going to be support, right, with the YAML of JSON or with the language of JSON or YAML. So Java structure object notation or the respective YAML here and markup language. Java structure object notation or with your respective and markup language. These are the two things, two languages you guys are going to be using. Java structure object notation or YAML and markup language. These are the two things you guys need to be enabled here. So this is completely AWS proprietary, right? This is completely to the respect to AWS proprietary here. This is a completely AWS native tool. This is completely AWS native tool here. As this is completely AWS native tool, will not going to be helpful to create your resources outside of AWS, right? Outside of AWS. This is one way. This is one very important thing that you guys need to notice. So now here, you guys need to understand here. With this cloud formation as a native tool, how to create your respective resources. That will going to be discussed here. For that, before creating of the respective resources, how it going to be authenticated? How is this going to be authenticated with your respective resources here? That is one main important point. To get authenticate with your respective cloud formation template, you guys need to ensure that a role need to be created, right? A role need to be created here from your respective cloud formation template to the all the devices here, right? From your respective cloud formation devices to the all the devices here, right? So now here we'll see from the CFT cloud formation here, the source of this cloud formation here to respective all the privileges here. Administrative access have been giving for this respective cloud formation. So which means it will have the authentication and authorization to create all the resources here. So I would like to call this one as an CFT admin role, right? I would like to call this one as an CFT admin role. So create a role, right? CFT admin role here. This is one main important, right? This is one main important thing. So administrative role and for your respective cloud formation template here. From the CFT2, you should have called even all the resources. You can able to call all the resources here. That means you can able to create or manage all the resources. All the resources here. So this is one main important thing from the CFT. All the resources you can able to call. So that's how it's going to be happen here, right? And secondly, you guys need to ensure that. Right? Secondly, you guys need to ensure that how this cloud formation template is going to be create your respective resources, right? Create your respective resources here. As I said earlier, this is true, right? As I said earlier, this is true, right? This is true with the help of JSON or AML, with the help of JSON or AML here. So now here we'll create a JSON file where it created the view of the resources. So we'll create a JSON file where it's going to be created the view of the resources. So we'll see how it's going to be created. Am I clear as of now? Any questions, any doubts? How to create?
Sorry,
What is the
the
main
CFT.
difference between?
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm not understanding the CFT. So it's kind of replacing of Terraform or like.
It is an AWS native product. It's not
Correct.
replacing an AWS product where it will allow you to create the resources.
Right. So my question is like, instead of using Terraform, if you are using AWS thing, we can using CFT and build the server, build the
No,
resources.
to build the resources. Build the resources.
Oh, Resource means like everything, EC2, VPC, everything, right?
Any resources actually. EC2,
Mm-hmm.
S3, VPC, anything.
Oh, got it. Thanks.
Right. So that's how it's going to be happen here. So now here you need to understand about the now here you guys need to understand about the respective resources here creation with the cloud formation template. So we'll have a JSON file. This JSON file is readily available as per your, if you search with the AWS cloud formation templates, they already, right? If you go with the GitHub, they already written all the code actually for you. You don't need to write the code. If you click on this respective AWS, if you go for the services, all the auto scaling, all the cloud formation templates, they are readily available actually. So you no need to use any you don't need to use any of the rewrite your respective cloud formation template as per your right right as per your need. So that's how it's going to be happen. So just you need to know how to utilize this respective the cloud formation template. I have picked one of this respective one, right? One of the respective one to create my own resources. I template myself actually. So if you are good at JSON language or AML language, you can also customize based upon your requirement. So now here, the question here, the one which you need to know about here is how to create a JSON, how to enable this respective JSON files. So that we'll discuss by tomorrow. So we'll see where is your respective. So this is going to be, as I said earlier, as soon as you guys have created your respective EKS cluster, so this is going to be created a file under this config. This is your authentication for your respective cluster. And here is your path /home EC2, right? /home EC2 over this respective. Right? Am I clear on this? Any questions, any doubts? This is your authentication to your respective Kubernetes cluster. Once you have did as an admin, AWS admin job, once you have did the AWS admin job here, you have created your EKS cluster. Just save this respective file, your respective Kubernetes cluster file to your respective Kubernetes administrator. Right? Kubernetes administrator. That's how it's going to be happen. Am I clear on this, guys? Any questions, any doubts? Clear. So this is one thing that you guys need to understand here. So while enabling of your respective resources, this is one thing you guys need to. By using Datadog actually. By using Datadog. People are mostly you guys are going to be use the Datadog, but there is an performance insights are going to be there on your respective EKS cluster, but it charge you more, but it may not going to provide the required metrics for you. So when you going to be have this respective EKS cluster, you guys can able to use a Datadog. You guys can able to use a Datadog here, right, to monitor your respective cluster. So that is one main important thing. No, CloudWatch is not that efficiency tool to monitor here, but yeah, it will provide you the metrics, but it is not that helpful in your real-time environment. Right. So we'll continue with our cloud formation the respective thing for your respective cloud formation, creation of your respective resources by tomorrow, and will create the role and will create our respective EC2 resources. So thank you guys for your time. We'll meet by tomorrow.